Hi, I'm Amanda, and today I'm going to show you how to install your new Frontpoint smart lock. Before we begin installing this into your door, let's go over the tools you'll need to complete this installation. It's important to note your lock is pre-configured to fit a standard door frame. If your home matches the standard measurements, here are the tools you will need. Tape measure, Phillips head screwdriver, which is included in your box. If you will be using the drive-in bolt, you will need a flathead screwdriver, hammer, and a block of wood. You may use an electric screwdriver, but please do not use a power drill. This can lead to stripping the screws and/or damaging the lock. Let's create a checklist to make sure your door and frame are properly aligned. If you're unable to check off everything on the list, you may need to adjust the door or frame. Let's take a look at your current door frame to make sure they are properly aligned. We also want to make sure that the holes are properly drilled for your new lock. You should be able to lock the door without having to push, pull, or lift on the door. You should be able to lock your door easily and smoothly. Also, your door alignment should stay the same throughout the changing seasons. Now remove your existing lock from the door and prepare to measure the door and frame dimensions. Check to make sure you have a minimum of 5 inches between the center of the deadbolt hole and in the center of any door latch below the deadbolt. This area here is called the crossbore. Let's make sure the crossbore diameter measures 2 1/8 inches or 1.5 inches. This line illustrates the back set. Be sure this measures either 2 3/8 inches or 2 3/4 inches. The area here is called the latch bore. This should measure 1 inch in diameter. Finally, the thickness of your door should be between 1 3/8 to 1 3/4 inches. If your door is thicker than 1 3/4 inches, you may need to purchase a custom thick door kit. These can be purchased by contacting Schlage Customer Service at 888-805-9837. Now let's take a moment to identify all of the components of your box. It's important to note that you may not use all of the parts inside the box. Bolt, inside assembly screws, strike screws, round drive-in faceplate, support screws, deadbolt faceplate, support plate, touchscreen assembly, reinforcement screws, backup key, interior assembly. Batteries may already be installed in lock. Installation guide. Before we begin the installation, it's important to note the 6-digit programming code located on the back of the interior assembly. Write down your 6-digit code on the spaces provided here. You will need this code again later. Let's install the bolt first. The bolt is pre-configured to fit standard door measurements. The faceplate attached fits most doors. You can change to the optional drive-in faceplate if your door calls for it. Now let's refer back to those door measurements that we went over earlier. If your door has a back set of 2 3/8 inches, you won't need to adjust the bolt. If your back set measures 2 3/4 inches, all you need to do is twist the faceplate like this. Once you have the desired length, simply slide the bolt into place while making sure the word top is facing upward. Then secure it with 2 of the provided strike screws. If your door requires the round faceplate, please refer back to your Installing Your Frontpoint Smart Lock guide for instructions on removing the back plate and installing the bolt into the door. Let's check to make sure the bolt and strike are properly aligned. From the inside, insert your flathead screwdriver into the slot in the bolt. Rotate the screwdriver a full 90 degrees towards the door edge to extend the bolt. The bolt should smoothly and fully extend to the strike. If it doesn't, you may need to adjust your bolt and strike until it does. Now let's install the touchscreen assembly on the outside of the door. Be sure that the bolt is retracted and flush before you begin. If your crossbore measured less than 2 1/8 inches, you'll need to remove the snap and stay bracket before continuing. To do this, you just need to remove the attachment screw and then rotate and remove the bracket. Feed the cable under the bolt. Align the tailpiece with the slot in the bolt and snap the assembly in place. Snap and stay clips will hold the touchscreen in place. Now on the inside of your door, let's position the support plate. The side that says against door should touch the door. Be sure that the side that says top is facing upward. Route the cable through the slot at the bottom and secure the plate with 2 large support plate screws. Before fully tightening the screws, take a moment to make sure that the support plate and touchscreen are straight. Okay, let's get ready to install the inside assembly. Remove the battery cover by pushing up, but leave the battery tray in place. Be sure not to touch the circuit board as this could damage the lock. Then connect the cable to the inside assembly. Match the white dot on the connector with the white dot on the circuit board. Then route the cable into the channel provided to keep it from getting pinched. Align the tailpiece with the slot on the back of the inside assembly. Slide assembly towards the door and on the support plate. Secure the inside assembly to the support plate. Inserting the lower and longer screw first, then the short screw at the top. Be sure not to turn the thumb turn at this point. For the lock to function properly, the bolt must remain retracted until the panel pairing process is initiated. Now, unsnap the connector and remove the battery tray. Insert the batteries, ensuring proper polarity. Then carefully replace the battery tray with the batteries facing the door. If this lock is a part of your initial system order, do not connect the battery connector at this time. Press and hold the Schlage button. While holding the Schlage button, reconnect the batteries. Release the Schlage button. Then snap the connector back into place. Now let's head back to your setup wizard to continue the setup process. Before you go, grab your Installing Your Frontpoint Smart Lock Guide. When prompted by the wizard, follow the instructions found in Step 7B. It will walk you through the process of pairing your lock to your control panel.